I haven't done one of these in a while, but what I used to do, guys, if you guys are unfamiliar with it, is I used to go through all of the professional games and matches that they did, and I would break down some of the rounds for them and kind of talk about them. I'm not going to watch through the entire tournament because, like, that takes a lot of time for me to do that, and I don't want to, like, sit here my entire day, every single day, watching Valorant, although I do like watching Valorant. But I saw 2 plays today while I was watching the final game of the Envy vs Sentinel series, and I saw 2 rounds in it that were pretty cool. So we're gonna talk about those. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel down below. Check us out on Twitch, where we have all these lovely people, and we're gonna get into it. It'll be a fun time. I specifically try to choose rounds that I think people can learn things from that I can like share with you. So that's why I picked out these 2 rounds. I think that there's 2 little things that I saw that I think are cool, and I just I thoughts that I wanted to share. So that's what we're doing. So this first round right here is going to be taking place on 312 Envy. Was it actually this close at this point in time? This is wrong. This is a different round that okay, we're gonna look at this round first because it makes sense. This first round is going to be taking place on pistol round with Sentinels versus Envy, where Envy is going to be pushing onto B site. Now, specifically, I guess I could just let this round play out and I could showcase what happens. You notice they're executing onto B site right now. Pistol round for Envy, the utility's going out. They're going to be taking elbow control, which is a tactic that I saw 100 Thieves do first, I think, where they just kind of like basically all booked it into elbow. And they basically put a lot of pressure here. But instead, after their first player goes down on site, they're actually just going to double back, take the TP, and head over to A because they have this lurk coming in from Food. Food's going to be coming in. He's going to have his frenzy in place. He catches Dapper just a little bit off guard there, it seems like, and ends up picking up 2 there, which is pretty massive for the round, considering they already lost 1 player on their team. Now it's going to be a 3v3 on site for Envy. Looks like they have full U-Haul control, which might make this retake just a little bit difficult here. Unfortunately, Omen Blind isn't wonderful in U-Haul because like it's so close quarters. It's not the most perfect thing, but it can definitely be all right. But they try to take control there, lose one another player now, and this is going to be a really hard retake now for Sentinels as they try to come in here as they all go down. Now, what exactly did I want to talk about in this round? I always try to focus on little things that I think that most people aren't going to notice. So I'm not just like commenting on like, oh hey, he hit a headshot right here, or oh hey, he did this cool thing. Specifically, what I wanted to focus on is information that you can guess on without actually having the information, and why a lot of the times I play a little bit more carefully in situations like this. So if you don't really understand what I mean by that, what I'm referring to directly is how when Envy comes in here for this push, they seemingly just rotate off of the site without really being forced off or anything. They lose 1 pick here on the Sova, Crashies goes down, and then immediately a rotate comes in. Everybody just TPs. So most of the time when you see a fast rotate come in like this, it's normally for 2 reasons. 1 of 2 reasons anyway. The first reason would be, hey, they're all here on site. We should probably leave, right? And the second reason, which would be the more accurate one right here, is this was a really fast rotate that wasn't really forced by anything. This is why you can kind of assume that they might have somebody pushed up on A right now. Nobody's on A site. The odds that there's a player pretty deep, maybe in their spawn right now, very high. It could be very high. The fact that this rotate just came in seemingly out of nowhere. It just happened. Hey, we TP'd, everybody's gone. It's normally because they have territory on A. That's why they're rotating. Hey, we have somebody on A. Let's take the TP. Let's go back A. So that's why they made this call here. He ends up catching Dapper a little bit off guard. Now, I'm not trying to say here that like, oh, wait, the Sentinels just didn't realize this. Like maybe they had something in mind. Maybe they just didn't think that he was going to be this close. But this is like information that you can normally assume on, or you can guess on, or at least be careful of. If you ever see a rotate coming out of nowhere, try to assume that they know something that you don't. They have territory or something. It can be very dangerous pushing into these areas, especially alone. And that's why Food's going to pick up this first kill here. He's going to go down. Second kill goes down. Unfortunate for them. And Envy's going to pick up this first round. That was the first round that we were going to talk about. It's basically just showcasing like a lot of the times in this game, you're going to have to make educated guesses on where enemies are going to be and stuff like that, and like how you should play. And that's why a lot of those times when you see somebody push up into spawn, especially at lower ranks, it'll really catch players off guard. But there's ways that you can kind of guess of why their rotates would have happened, or why they were playing the way that they would. And that's why that's something that they could have looked out for there. Moving on to the next round. This is going to be the last round of the game. Unfortunately, it's not going to go too well for Envy. This round is a little bit more up in the air. I think the last round you could have easily made the assumption that somebody might have been close, but I think that this round is kind of harder to tell for a lot of reasons. But basically what's going to happen And see if you're watching, see if while you're watching you can guess exactly what I'm going to comment on here. But they're going to be pushing in here. Sentinels is now on offense. They're going to try to make their engagement onto B site. FNS is playing this aggressive angle out of hookah, which is a dangerous angle to take. This is why you should take hookah control generally when you're pushing, because if they're in hookah, it can make it very hard to exit out of long. Same thing goes for long. If you or same thing goes for pushing out of hookah. If they're playing long, it can make it very hard to jump out of hookah. So this is why it's good to take control of both, so that when you execute onto the site. Now Dapper is going to try to push in. Food is going to take him out there into this aggressive angle in hookah. And now this round's basically all over for Sentinels. It's going to be very hard for them to win this round. You'll notice Zoms is the last member of Sentinels. He's going to be getting pushed here. He takes out Crashies, but takes out Mame, and then he's going to go down to Food right there. Unfortunate. So that is going to be game and match point, I guess, for Envy as they take the grand finals in this tournament. What I specifically wanted to comment on here, and this is something that's a little bit more up in the air, like I said, but it's also something that you might be able to infer based off of the way that your enemies are playing. So notice how they push in here. This first player that goes down to here is, I believe it is Sinatra, actually goes down to FNS right here, playing this aggressive angle in hookah, just kind of watching out along. Something that you might be able to guess in this position is that there's probably somebody else in hookah with FNS right now if he's holding this aggressive angle. The odds that he can be pushed from behind is probably very high if he's playing something like this. Like if you have to do like a normal push, like if you say you have 2 people pushing through hookah and then you have like 3 people pushing long, you might be able to guess that they're doubling up in hookah at this point in time, and it would be a very dangerous location to take. And that's why, as I believe it's Dapper tries to push in here with his shotgun, it's a little bit unfortunate that he gets taken out to Food over here. It would have been a really hard guess, but there's also like things like this that you might be able to assume just based on how they're playing, right? If somebody's playing back here and he's exposing his entire back to a common location to push, that could showcase that, hey, maybe there's something else going on in hookah right now, because he's clearly has some sort of information that he's safe right now, whether it's maybe a tripwire or another player is also possible. It could have easily been a tripwire though, so I don't really blame Dapper for dying here. He's just kind of looking for something that's 312 or whatever in this situation. But I just want to encourage people more specifically, maybe this is a far-fetched one, but just try to think about why your enemies are playing the locations that they are. If it seems like somebody's doing something stupid, why would they be doing that thing stupid? There's probably information that you lack at that point in time, and you might be able to make inferences based off of that. These are a couple examples of that. There's plenty of them in your games. If you see somebody baiting for something, like, hey, he's peeking, he keeps re-peeking something, he's shooting at nothing right now, he dropped a smoke somewhere that doesn't make sense to drop a smoke. Just a lot of these little things. You should always be taking notes of what your enemies are doing or where they're playing. And if it seems like they're doing something stupid, they're probably doing it for a reason, unless you're in gold or below, in which case a lot of the times people just do stupid things. That just happens sometimes. But yeah, if you're above that rank, people normally do things for a reason. That's the big thing that I want to share onto people right here. They're normally doing things for a reason. You should be thinking about what those reasons are. But yeah, here are 2 rounds. They're a little bit far-fetched, but this last one I think is a little bit far-fetched. I think the first one is a pretty easy assumption that I make in a lot of my games. That's why I actually got a clip that I uploaded to TikTok earlier today. Let me find this actually. This is it's this clip. You guys have probably seen it. I just pre-fired a guy right here just randomly. There's a guy right here to my left. And the reason I pre-fired this is because we didn't have any territory over on A. They did a weird rotate. They were pushing C. They just doubled back towards A. We had no territory over here. They had a lot of time to push up if they wanted to. So I just made a gut call. I was like, they probably pushed up on us. And you can make that the sort of call very frequently. It's a good thing to make. If you think that they had the time to push up, a lot of the times they probably did, and you can take advantage of that. And oftentimes you can get funny clips like this where you just pre-fire some dude hiding in the corner. Hope you guys, if this was helpful, subscribe to the channel down below. Check us out on Twitch. And I freaking love you guys.